So remember using these boards? You got the wood blocks, got all the radius blocks. Those days are gone. I got the block you need. It's cheap, it's easy to make. Check this out. So this is just a regular block of wood with some rubber on it. And this is specifically neoprene. You don't want something that's too thick, too dense. You want something that's got a little bit of give to it. So when you're sanding, it kind of moves just a tiny bit, because you know what it's like when you're using these kind of blocks. Everything is just so flat and hard that you end up burning through your primers, you burn through your finishes, or there ends up being really big low spots. Like, you don't want that. So that's one of the reasons we're going to use this rubber. So I'm going to kind of show you how I do this. So what you're going to need is you're going to need to order some 1/8 inch neoprene rubber. You can also do 1/16 inch. Hell, you can do 1/4 inch if you want. I don't think it really matters. That's what you want. Neoprene. It's good stuff. I got a link in my description. If you want to just click on that, you can go to Amazon. It'll show you exactly what you need. You're going to need some 3M Super 77 spray adhesive. This stuff works great. It sets up in like 3 to 5 minutes. Doesn't take very long. You need a razor blade. Get yourself a block of wood. Get yourself, if you want to do a radius. When you're calculating the radius, you have to remember to include the thickness of the neoprene. So if you got a 5/8 block, right, you add that 1/8 inch neoprene, now you're doing a 3/4 inch radius. So just kind of remember that kind of stuff as you're making your blocks. So a lot of the blocks that we have today are these Dura blocks and these EVA rubber blocks, and these things are awesome. I have a video on these things. I love them. They're probably my favorite block, but they are kind of expensive. I think these are like 25 bucks. The other one's like 15 bucks. You can buy an entire roll. You can get basically 4 square feet of this 1/8 inch neoprene for like 18 bucks on Amazon. So you can make 20 blocks for 20 bucks basically. For the money, there's no better way to go. The blocks last a long time. The rubber doesn't degrade. It works fantastic. So let's get going. So we'll start with a block of wood. What we're gonna do is we're gonna roll out our rubber. Just gonna cut out the amount of material that we need here for our block. Do it for our radius here. So radius is going to need, go ahead and just cut off this scrap piece here. Cover that one for our neoprene. And then we'll do one for our long sanding board here. All right, so we're going to take our Super 77 spray. I've got myself a piece of cardboard down here so that I don't get this stuff everywhere. This stuff just, it flies off into the air, so you really want to kind of put something back behind it so it doesn't go over everything. I'm going to put a fairly generous We'll let this dry for about 5 minutes, then we're going to stick that rubber to our blocks. All right, we'll go ahead and put our rubber on here. Take our radius piece here, the side that's got all the glue on it. And now you got a nice piece for putting your PSA sandpaper on. And lastly, we got our sanding, called sanding fin. Press this thing down good. It's got a 2-pound roller here. Love this thing. I use it for all kinds of stuff. So these just roll. Good. Now we're just going to take and cut off all the excess on our blocks. All right, so we have nice boards. We're 2 3/4, so it fits our PSA sandpaper perfectly. Same thing with our other little block here. And we got our radius block that has the neoprene on it as well. So one of the things people need to understand about sanding blocks is that the great thing about 3M sandpaper is it works great with rubber sanding blocks. It's the best. The paper goes on, comes right off. There's no issues. It doesn't build up the way others do. It will build up over time. If that's the case, you can tear that neoprene off, throw a new piece of neoprene right back on, or you can just neoprene right over the top of it, I guess, if you really wanted to. Take a piece of our paper there, just goes right on there. Goes on perfectly flat, comes right back off, right back on. And you can swap papers, you go 80, 150, 220, 320, 400, whatever it is you're doing. You can wet sand with it, and it's fantastic. And again, it's so cheap. The whole thing of rubber is like 20 bucks on Amazon. You can probably make 20 blocks out of all that rubber. It costs you almost nothing, Or you can buy Dura blocks, which I also love. Like, so those are 20 bucks for one. These are a great alternative for people if you got lots of scrap wood. You can make tons of blocks, all kinds of shapes. You can just do all kinds of things with neoprene rubber. We've got our big sanding board here. Sanding board looks great. Throw a big piece of paper on here and just work this thing. Just go to town on our big long pieces of furniture. Get things nice and flat. And again, because it has that give to it, just a little bit of give there, it helps with all the ups and downs of wood. Wood is not as flat as people think it is. These are a great way to help get in some of those grooves and not burn so bad when you're sanding. And we can do another piece of paper here. Take a piece of paper on our radius piece here, like that. Now you've got 3/4 inch radius. You can sand nice and smooth as well. Great way to save some money. Blocks last a long time. You literally don't need to buy expensive factory-made blocks from different kinds of vendors. Like there's all kinds of cheap ways in your shop to make stuff. And this is a great way to make fantastic sanding blocks that last just as long as any other block. And replacing them is so cheap that if you have to replace them a couple times a year, no big deal. So anyway, I hope this helps you out. I hope you got some value out of this. And tell your friends, click subscribe, all that good stuff, and just keep making things. If you got any questions, concerns, if you want to see any other builds or products or things like that, like I own a company. We do about $1 million a year in just painted furniture. We sand probably 500 pieces a year. So we're always sanding. It's what we do. So anyway, have a good one.